For those who don't know me, my name is Pesi Mungwai. I'm a father of two.
Yes.
I call them Golden Girls, Motawa and Polo Shop. And yo.
To the absent father.
Yeah.
Why did you leave me?
Wow. Fathers, I think I mentioned this earlier on. Fathers are hunters, they are providers, and some of them, when they cannot meet that, when they cannot provide, and they feel they are failing the environment, some of them move away.
Sure.
I'm talking about genuine fathers. I'm not talking about the ones abasile. I'm talking about genuine fathers, and at some stage they feel, I cannot take this. I'm failing my family. Some of them may walk away. And I think the child who's out there, who's maybe even trying to reach out to that father who's absent, who moved away, I want to say to you, perhaps there might be that element that your father felt he's failing you and he walked away. But there are fathers that were just irresponsible and they just needed Jesus. They just needed God for them to be present and understand their responsibility. And I wouldn't want to also leave that child out who is in that setting, and to say to you, understand that man is also human beings are imperfect.
Yeah.
And I think I mentioned earlier on the imperfections of my father. Thank God physically he was still present at home, but he was absent during that period. And when I grew up and I accepted Christ in my life, I learned one to forgive him. At that time he had not fixed his life. I learned to forgive him. I learned to reach out to him. I learned to now sit with him in those nights when he comes back drunk, with the understanding that perhaps this is his way of reaching out to me.
Sure.
And I started loving him with his imperfections. And today we have an amazing relationship that started somewhere. And I would say start somewhere. And today it's painful for you. It's Father's Day. He's absent. You've got a lot of wrongs you can point about his life than the good. And you feel there is no reason for him to even deserve your text message. I would say just do it. It takes 3 words. Happy Father's Day.
To the rejecting father, to like, what is it that I can do to build a relationship with you?
Yeah, I think take a first step. Send him that text, and he may not respond. I need to prepare you. He may not respond, but if he responds, then we've gone somewhere. And get that cup from a Kumbuk's shop that says love or whatever. As a gift, you drop it by the place he is. If he's absent yet present, he comes back home that evening, drunk or sober, he finds that you prepared that meal with that cup saying, I love you, Father. There should be a step on our side. Yeah. I think the person who would give up should give up from something. Yeah. If we say give up from this relationship, what are you giving up from? You should have been doing something. You're saying, I'm giving up from it, if at all you're giving up. So I would say start somewhere, start with that small step, reach out, and perhaps the Lord will help you, and pray about it. Yeah. And God will help you.
And I'm also noticing that some fathers, they learning to father without having been taught. And I'm not to say that I'm making excuses for anybody, but it's just something that I have noticed, that maybe you have a father that's trying to father you, and obviously he's flawed because he was not fathered himself.
Yeah, I think we can learn in the absence of something as well as in the presence of something. I've seen great fathers even in our church who never had fathers, and some of them are my close friends. One discovered a relationship with his father just before he could pass away. Sure. And I look at how he's fathering his children today. He's an amazing father. I think sometimes it's insane. These are things I did not like, and these are things I like.
I'm going to do better.
I'm going to do better.
Yeah.
And you choose that journey.
Sure.
I've heard people saying I'm a bad father because my father was a bad father. I'm saying that's an excuse. You can always be saying, these are the things my father did. I do not like this, I do not like this, I like this. And therefore for the things I do not like, what would I love to see from my father?
Yeah.
And those are the things I'm going to do with my children. And obviously it's going to require that you be intentional, because there is a learned system you grew up in and that you need to unlearn from and start this new journey.
To the angry father, why can't you just communicate your emotions and your feelings? Why do you resort to violence?
And I'm hoping, Kateko, I'm not sounding defensive in my answers, but I want to help the child as well to have perspective so that they deal with the situation better. I mean, when you grow up from childhood, you fall, you hurt yourself, you're crying, you're a boy, you're told by your parents, don't cry, boys don't cry.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay? Same afternoon, your sister falls and everyone surrounds that sister and everyone cares for that child. And life stops for a moment for that baby girl. But for the baby boy, life did not stop. Right? With that, we grew up knowing we do not express our emotions, we are not allowed to express our emotion. And that is just not how human beings are wired. We are all wired to communicate our emotions.
Sure.
But we grow up being told, suppress it. It's not okay. It shows weakness if you express it. And that is why you've got so many angry men out there, because we've been socialized that way to say, you cannot keep it to yourself. Be strong. Being strong means you're not crying. Being strong means you're not communicating. Being strong means you cannot share a weak emotion, or emotion actually is even seen as a weakness.
Sure.
Emotion is supposed to be seen as strength because you're expressing yourself. Okay? So a lot of fathers grew up in that setup, and with time, that thing bottles and it is packing up, and it doesn't start the day they became fathers. It started the day they started crawling and they hurt themselves and they were told, no, you cannot cry. They heard that cry. They are now a teenager, or before teenage, they are 7, they are 8, they fall on the bicycle or from that tree, they are told you cannot cry. They hold that cry. And the levels are just growing as per life progresses. Then one day something wrong goes and this man snaps. And it's not an excuse for the man to snap, but I think men need help. Men must know that they can cry. Men must know they must communicate their emotion. Men must know they need to talk. Men are making progress. We need help.
To the divorced father, is it my fault that you left? Is it my fault that the relationship ended? And was I not reason enough for you to stay in that marriage?
I think it's a combination of a lot of things. Marriage is for two people, and those two people is the husband and the wife, not the children. Therefore, when things are not working out, it's not because of the child. In some cases, children do get involved in these matters and they are part of the entire soil. And it's not supposed to be that way. And the father ends up living feeling it's because of their mother and these children. Right? But in a lot of cases, it's a mess between two people. And even if children were to be dragged into that mess, I think if we're to be responsible and accountable adults, it is still about the two people. Children would not be involved in the first place if two adults were managing their affairs well. Therefore, I say no, it's not your fault. And even if you were dragged into that soil, it's not your fault. Two adults just failed to take care of their affairs. And obviously you are part of that household, it affected you, and perhaps you had an opportunity, and I agree it wasn't your space to be part of it, but it is not your fault. They say when two bulls are fighting, when they walk away, the ground and the grass suffered, and the consequences in some cases are irreparable.
Sure.
And I'm hoping that the God who turns the impossible into possible can repair the hearts of those that are broken out of divorce, experience of their parents. But adults must just learn to manage their affairs well without involving the kids. But Gaily, Sunny, out there, you are not the reason. It is not your fault. Sure.
To the disappointed father, there are fathers that have been good fathers, and we as children have failed them. Whether it be maybe teenage pregnancy, whether it be fighting with drugs, just being not a good child. How do I earn your forgiveness?
You don't have to earn it. You have it already. There is no amount of wrong my child will do to quench the reservoir of forgiveness I have for my child. I'm a pastor. I've sat down with parents who've gone through the worst that their children have done. But all of them, while they were disappointed, while they were angry, they still had enough reservoir tank of forgiveness for their children. At times they would want a little bit of punishment, not because they're not forgiving, but because they want you to shape up your life. So you don't have to earn that forgiveness. There is a reservoir of that forgiveness for you. All they want to do is to help you find discipline and shape up your life. But forgiveness is always there.
So forgiveness is there, but for a better relationship, I need to do better.
You need to do better.
As a spiritual father, I want you to say something that you feel every son or daughter should hear, that they may not have heard from their father, either because he's absent, either because he passed away, or either because he's around but he's not there.
My son, my daughter, this one is for you. I so longed to have a good relationship with you, and I'm still longing for it. I know I've messed up in life. I know I've done terrible mistakes. I know I could have loved and I can love your mother better. And I know I can provide for you better. I know my spending could look better and my priorities could be realigned. I know at times I've prioritized work over you guys. I know at times I've prioritized my friends over you guys. I know at times I've prioritized pleasure over you guys. But today I want you to know that I love you, I care for you, and from today I want to commit a journey to loving you, to caring for you, and prioritizing you over everything else. I'm saying this to you as your father, perhaps as the words you'd have loved to hear from your father. And I know even your fathers out there who are absent, some present, yes, yet absent, to say they long to tell you this, to say they love you, they care for you, and they would like to fix their life for your sake. Take care of yourself. Never mess up your life because of your absent parent. Never take wrong decisions just to prove your parents right about your wrongdoing. Change your ways for yourself. Change your ways for your future generation. Change your ways for the future of this country. It depends on you contributing meaningfully. Start afresh yourself before you can build other relationships like that of your parents with you. You have an opportunity to fix your life. But all this, that is fixing your own life, fixing your relationship with parents, they are all close to impossible if you do not have a relationship with God. Fix your relationship with God. That would be my spiritual advice to you. Everything in our life stands on our relationship with God. All relationships, they rise or fall on how we relate with our Father in heaven. Therefore, make a choice today to fix your relationship with your Heavenly Father. When that is done, all relationships will start falling in place.